14 to 3. I've got a children's book. It's called A Secret Safe to Tell. Its author, Naomi Hunter, is sitting in front of me. Hooray for Naomi. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's wonderful to be here.
It's really interesting. Yours is, I think, about the second I've seen in books that attempt to get across a very important message to children in a way that won't freak them the hell out.
Yeah, that's right.
And that message of, which is a more modern thinking, I've got to say, of, look, your body is your own.
Yes.
And you are in control of it. And if you feel that that's being taken from you, you should talk out. You could
Absolutely.
speak out about it.
Yep.
So that's a really difficult message to get across. We don't want to have our children terrified of shadows.
No.
But I kind of liken it to the way we lock our doors when we leave the house, in that we're not expecting the house to get burgled every time we leave.
No.
But the door's locked for that 1 in 10,000 statistically time that a burglar does arrive, and then you've got a lock, and that's a good thing. But how to get that message across appropriately is tricky. And I think you've had a great crack at it with this book.
Thank you.
A Secret Safe to Tell. Your background is as a primary school teacher?
Yeah, that's right. I feel that that's given me a big insight into, children's literature and texts that are used in the classroom. But I did feel that there was such a gap and a need for resources like this. So it was definitely a passion of mine to get something out there
But
like
I
this.
think it's relatively new. You know, I think all of us growing up were made to kiss someone, our
Yes.
uncle, our auntie, our nana, or whatever, for, good reasons. Oh, that's your nana, of course you would. But it also reinforces that you're not in control of your own body. And if you don't want to, it's not okay. You
That's
have
right.
to. And so this is a relatively new, it seems to me, I don't know.
It is. It's a massive new change in
Yeah.
the way we're parenting, and we're educating parents on how that it's safe to teach your children, some body awareness and body confidence. And if that doesn't feel right to you, then it's okay to tell another adult, no, I don't really like that. I feel uncomfortable. And that should be okay in our society, because it's teaching children to be aware of what their boundaries are and their limits inside themselves, and having a voice to do so.
But of course, it's all tied up in that taboo that we couldn't imagine that anyone in our circle would do such a horrific thing. But statistically, stranger danger isn't the danger. Stranger danger is, in fact, like a shark attack.
That's right.
Terrifying and random, but really unlikely to occur.
That's right.
Our statistics will tell us that, no, the danger's within. But how do you get that across in a family setting? So I think the book is really good, the way you approach that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel that it's done in a really non-explicit way. The illustrations, I have to do a massive shout out to my illustrator, Karen Erasmus, took this project on board straight away with such passion and sensitivity. She portrayed the message beautifully in such an approachable way for children to respond to. So, yeah, the book is beautiful, and it isn't about childhood sexual abuse unless the parents want to steer it in that direction. And it isn't going to frighten a child if they haven't been exposed to this form of a scenario happening to them. It'll just educate and empower them how to get themselves out of it, that it's safe to tell a trusted adult, body safety, that parents can talk about this issue with their children, that it's vital that we do so that we can stamp on these horrifying statistics.
I think by shining a light on them.
Yes.
I think they've survived because we've been unable to find a way to talk about it without feeling sick, and
That's
we
right.
just don't. And therefore just kiss wwhoever it is, because anything else would open up a conversation that I'm just not prepared for.
Yeah.
How did you come to make the book?
Basically, after I had my daughter, I was suffering post-traumatic stress disorder. It was quite complex because this was part of my childhood, unfortunately. I experienced this from two separate trusted adults within my family network. And it went on for several years, and it was traumatizing.
Yes.
After I had my daughter, and I realized, gosh, we've just pushed this all under the carpet. I tried to speak out. I tried to tell. I tried to seek validation, but it just wasn't talked about. And it was awful going through and navigating through all of that after I had my own daughter. And I was robbed of the joy of celebrating the birth of my own baby. So I thought something needs to be done. We need to be courageous, and we need to step out, us adults who are caring for these beautiful children, and be brave enough to start this conversation.
Has it helped you? Has it
Absolutely.
helped you personally
It really
during the book?
has.
Has that sort of, I don't know, been a cathartic process?
Massively. My Facebook page is already up to like over 11,000 followers. Women, men, teenagers, children from all over the world, basically supporting the movement, supporting the change, supporting the language and the dialogue that it's safe to talk about this issue that so many people have suffered in silence.
I can see why you would want it to be published. I can see what would drive you, and with your own experiences and now wanting to rationalise that as your daughter grows and all those things. How did you get a publisher on board? How did you actually get it to be a book that you can hold in your hand?
Yeah, I feel that it was a tenacious spirit that got me there in the end. But yeah, it was a 4-year process of approaching publishers, and then Jojo jumped on board and said it was a timely issue, that it was a book that was going to make a difference, and it already has. We know of 5 young girls who have disclosed their current sexual abuse situation after reading my book.
So was it just a constant knockbacks by the publishers, and so you just had to go, okay, I believe in it.
Yes.
I don't care what they're saying. You have to do that kind of walk.
It was a bit like that. But, in saying that, the publishers were all saying it was well written, that there's definitely a need for this resource, but it was too much of a risk at that time in the market. It was just after the financial crisis had hit and they needed money. So they didn't want to take a risk on a project that might not sell. But as we're finding, this project is selling, and it is something that parents want to get a hold of so that they know how to approach this topic, because it's through education that we can actually reverse what's happened.
Naomi Hunter is who you're talking to. The book we're talking about is A Secret Safe to Tell. She flogged it round for 4 years, having publishers telling it no. Finally, though, a publisher said, yeah, I think it might be okay. How's the first print run gone?
Amazing. We sold out already. We're in the second reprint.
How big was the first print run?
3,000. So
that's not bad. That's a good first start. You would have been happy with that. And
so
it's all
happy.
Gone.
Absolutely.
And they're now into their second. So the publisher's gone, it's striking a chord somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And it's being distributed in the UK. The States, we're finding a distributor there as we speak. It's going global already. And that was always my goal, to enable parents to have this conversation and to help children, to nurture them through this issue if they've been through it themselves, but also to empower them through it and out of it.
Yeah, like the deadlock on the door principle. You know, you're ready. Should this ever occur, you have a plan.
Yeah.
So how does it work? Did the illustrator come on as your partner? Did you pay the illustrator separately? Did you say to Karen, I've got this thing, I don't have a publisher, but I believe in it? How does that work?
Yeah, it's funny. I found Karen on Illustrators Australia website, and I just instantly was drawn to her imagery, and I thought that's going to really work. So I'll email her to see if she'd be on board with it, and then straight away she was like, yes, that's definitely a project I'll do, which was amazing. And that was constant, immediate validation for me, who'd already gone through such a taboo topic anyway. And then she said, once you secure a publisher, just let them know that I'm more than happy to. And then when I told Jojo about Karen, they were like, yes, she's perfect. And yeah, it was just a really good match.
I get it. So you've got her sitting in the wings ready, but she won't put pencil to paper until you get the publisher, and that's a 4-year journey. And then you've sold it in and you go, Karen, are you still on board? And she says, yes, I am. And then you go, ooh, I hope your pictures work as well as I hoped they would.
They exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, no, I think the artwork's perfect for it. And I think you were right to feel that resonance with her art. I think it just suits your words,
definitely.
And that's a great fit. But it's an experience I've not gone through, so I'm just sort of riding it there with you. There must have been a lot of nights waiting for the email and and all those things to see if you could get it across the line.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you talked to are you still working as a teacher?
At the moment, just was doing some relief work while my daughter was young. So yeah, no, not at present. Just been promoting my book, and we just got back from Newcastle from a book event. So
No, I just wondered if you'd explored looking. If schools had shown interest in the book.
Yeah, definitely. I know several school teachers have used it in the classroom already, and it's fascinating because, parents can be quite frightened about approaching this kind of topic. Sure. And that's just so understandable. But, what we're finding is that when children are presented with this issue, the dialogue, the discussion that they bring out is not a frightening one at all. It's more a movement of empowerment and supporting each other, and what to do with worries and bullying, and how we can support each other, who we can go to that will help take action for us, who are trusted adults in our network. And it's those kind of conversations that it's bringing out of children.
It absolutely is a conversation starter. A Secret Safe to Tell is an interesting book. It deals with this topic in a way that, how can I say, normalises the unthinkable in the sense it doesn't diminish it or make it less than terrible, but it gives you a pathway in to begin conversations. Because if you start out with the terrible and the horrible, everyone's going to freeze in panic.
Yeah,
and you go,
for sure.
well, I don't think I've trained you to be resilient now. What have I done here?
Yeah.
It's a very complex issue for parents who might be struggling to get their head around that it's possible themselves. And they go, well, how do I start this?
Well, it's horrible because there's, the statistics are so high that it's really a painful subject for so many people. And that's why it's been hard to talk about for so long, because it brings up so much trauma for people. But what we want to try and do is nurture people who have been through it and educate them that it's really safe to empower their own children.
Have you got age group?
Look, we feel that it's suitable. Well, I feel it's suitable for all ages. I think the body conversation, you've got to start the conversation from before they can speak, that's their body, and that respect their boundaries and things like that. I think this is a kind of conversation that isn't just a one-off sit down talk, the body talk like we're used to, like that we've been previously had with our parents or with our in our years at school. You sit down in grade 5 and you have the
It's more
body
like handshakes.
talk.
We teach our little kids to handshake. We used to teach them, and we still should. Teach them how to handshake from a very early age, about how to meet people's eyes, the methodology to do it, the way you do it, and how you do it, and we repeat that behaviour. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Learning the stuff early so
That's
that,
right.
so that it becomes a part of your normal lexicon, I think.
Exactly. It shouldn't be just one conversation. It should just come naturally, flow in and out of your dialogue with your children about new things that come up about bodies and worries and
it is
how
that
to keep
fine
safe.
line, how to keep yourself safe and be aware without freaking you out. And as parents, we struggle with that. You add too much and suddenly they can't sleep at night because someone will come through the door because it's not deadlocked or whatever that is. So you just, how to keep that fine touch is challenging. And the book could help. A Secret Safe to Tell is the name of the book. Naomi Hunter is its author. Can we get it in bookstores or do we have to wait for the reprint?
It's ready now. The shipment has arrived, which is awesome. If people want a signed copy, they can see me on my Facebook page. Just drop me a line.
And just on that, I got great service from Naomi Hunter. I ordered her books and received them the next day. That's from Rachel. All excited.
Awesome.
So there you go. So we go on Facebook and we look up
Naomi Hunter Author, and just send me a message and I can send it out to you as soon as possible.
Fantastic.
You can go to the JoJo website too, or you can go into any bookstore within Australia
and start asking for it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Naomi, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's a couple of minutes before 3 o'clock, and that's a good time to say hi to Raphael.